Yeah, uh, yeah. David Miller on the mic, bringing heat to Opwell. Podcast blasting off, Bulldogs never dwell. Greg Walk Up co-host, keep it real, no cap. Students tuned in, ears up for the rap. Bulldogs unleashed, we the kings of the scene. Opwell, pride strong, yeah, we live in the dream. David and Greg, voices loud, never been. Bulldogs on the rise, so fresh, so clean. Middle school vibes, spreading knowledge like wildfire. David dropping facts, arrest your mind, call side bank. With the insight, sharp as attack. All well on the map, never looking back. Bulldogs unleashed, we the kings of the scene. All well, pride strong, yeah, we live in the dream. David and Greg, voices loud, never been. Bulldogs on the rise, so fresh, so clean.
Welcome in to a very special edition, and Greg, I'm not just saying that.
How many times you said that?
Special edition. I think I say it every time.
Every
But
time.
this is a very special edition of Bulldogs Unleashed.
Why? What we got?
We got so many things, Greg.
First, there's something illuminating on my face.
If you look straight ahead, if you're looking in the camera, you're looking straight ahead. What a beautiful sign. That sign is of our logo, Sikkim Studios.
Man.
Created by our very own Tony Collins, our engineering teacher, who is so talented.
Legend.
And so thankful for this right here that he's produced for us. It's a beautiful sign. Greg, you stayed here all night staring at it, didn't you?
I did. The light, the illumination, that's what put me to sleep. But what's the main reason why we have this?
So I got this to my left, and if I look to my right,
bam, there it is.
there's the camera.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hi.
to our knowledge, the very first video podcast in Forsyth County Schools
Been a journey.
is now Bulldogs Unleashed
So excited.
under Sikkim Studios.
God,
This is amazing. The people asked for this.
This is it.
The students asked for this. They wanted a video podcast. They wanted to see our beautiful faces.
We brought it to the people.
We brought it to the people. We
Love
give
it.
the people what they want.
I love it.
We've lifted the veil.
This
It
is
is
it.
now time.
Hey,
All right.
and what better way, Coach, to just have a full house? So
Sure.
they're about to see
Yeah.
and hear
Thank you.
from our wonderful colleague, Miss Yvonne,
Mhm.
to us students as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
That's right. Let's get into that episode. But don't forget, you'll see I got my
Oh, you
notes
got
here.
notes, man.
They get to see this
Yeah.
now. Follow Bulldogs Unleashed on Spotify. Click on that bell so you get a notification every time a new episode drops. But not only
Here it is.
are you clicking on Spotify,
Drum roll.
hey, you better be clicking
Boom.
on YouTube.
Yes.
This is going on YouTube. From what my 9-year-old daughter says, I believe it's click, like, and subscribe.
All the things. Click
So
it.
make sure you
We're going
like-
viral.
We're going
4
viral.
views is viral, right?
I like it.
4 views.
All right. So click like and subscribe
Yes.
on Otwell's YouTube channel so you get a notification every time we drop a new video podcast. Let's get into today's episode.
Let's go.
All right. We have a lot of guests in the studio today for a first. This is the first video podcast of Sikkim Studios. And to our knowledge, the first video podcast in Forsyth County Schools ever. We're going to claim that anyway. And we couldn't think of a better way to kick off our video podcast with celebrating our month that we're in now, and that is Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we're going to kick off that. We have 3 amazing guests joining us today. We have Miss Yvonne Ospina, who is one of our amazing secretaries, joining us. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we have 2 amazing students, a 7th grader, Isabella. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And Saeed, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're talking about Hispanic heritage this month, and we're celebrating that and all the things and the cultures that brings to our communities so much. It's so valuable to our, not just our community, but also our country. And so we want to recognize that. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Yvonne. She's going to help lead us in our conversation about this.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions for you guys. The first question will be, what is your favorite tradition or celebration that your family observes during Hispanic Heritage Month or any other time of the year that connects you to your heritage?
Okay. One of my favorite traditions is probably a quinceañera that happens throughout the year, and it's basically when a girl or a guy turns 15 and they have this big party to signify that you're becoming kind of an adult. and that's my favorite tradition.
So that hasn't happened for you yet, has it?
No, not yet.
Not 15
No.
yet. Have you started planning that? Is that like what goes into that process?
So like you either get a quinceañera or you get a car. I'd say I'd more want a car than like a whole party or something. But yeah.
So have you made that known to your parents? Like, this is what I would like.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool to hear. What about you, Saeed?
I really like the Day of the Dead.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite. And in Mexico, they celebrate it a lot instead of Halloween. And
yeah, because here in the United States, we think of it as just Halloween, right?
yeah,
So what does it mean in Mexico and for your culture?
it's just basically like you're celebrating, like, I don't remember what it was, but it's something with dead people,
Okay.
like your relatives.
Relatives?
And we get to eat a lot.
Mhm.
And I haven't been in Mexico, but it's really fun over there. A bunch of music,
Yeah.
bunch of food, and a bunch of like this confetti everywhere.
That's cool. What about Yvonne or Isabella? You can talk to this. Do y'all celebrate or recognize Day of the Dead? What does that look like for your
Yes,
families?
I do. We eat things like special things that that they loved and that they recognized for them because like since they died, we eat food that they loved and that just reminds us of them, and we just pray to God that they're doing good in heaven. And
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Miss Yvonne?
Well, I'll go with Isabella with the quinceañera.
Uh-huh.
I think that's one of the biggest things. I just hosted one 3 years ago for my daughter.
oh
Okay.
really?
Oh, and it's so much
let's say,
planning.
what did that look like?
Something very expensive.
I can only imagine.
Well, you have to start planning like 2 years in advance,
Mhm.
and it just takes a lot of planning. But
Okay.
we gave her the option of the car, and
Uh-huh.
she picked the party. But at the
Oh.
end, I mean, she needs a car, so we ended up giving both to her.
Wow.
So she was smart. She was like, well, I'll get a car anyway. So she picked the party, and she had the party. It's a huge event.
Okay.
Like a very like
Yes.
they wear these really big long dresses,
Mhm.
and it's just you have a lot of people over like 200, depending on I mean your budget.
So is this at your house or are you renting?
Oh no, you have to rent a
rent
venue.
someplace, okay.
You have to rent a venue. You
Yeah.
have to get a DJ. Sometimes you have to get like a band that
You have
comes
to
and
get-
plays,
Wow.
and food for everybody, and
That's awesome.
big cake. But it's I mean I think that for any girl at your age, like you
Yeah,
look forward for
dreams
it.
of,
yes. Yes.
Now, did you have a quinceañera when you turned 15?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. My family couldn't afford
I was
it.
about to say that'd probably be tough, right?
Yes, it was tough. But I have a 11-year-old now, and then she talks. She already has a color for her dress, and she's looking forward to it.
Got it all
So
picked out.
It is a big thing, I
That's
will
awesome.
say.
Awesome. What other questions do we have for our guests, Yvonne?
Okay, let's see. Is there a particular dish or type of food from your culture that you enjoy, or how does it remind you of your family or your heritage?
Okay, so one dish that really reminds me of my family is tamales. We eat those like maybe every month, maybe because my grandma makes them. They're really delicious. We have them for either like a really special event or just like a birthday. Like last year for my birthday, I really wanted tamales,
Mm.
so it was really good. Yes.
So what do we have to do to get you to bring tamales into the
Yeah.
studio? What's
Oh,
like? Do we have to put in a request? What does that look
I
like?
can convince my grandma to bring you
That's
guys
awesome.
some.
That sounds like delicious. Yeah. So
Yes.
we may have to have that, make that happen.
Tell her
Yes,
about the
it's really good.
podcast and tell her, oh, can I get some tamales?
Yeah.
There?
She's currently in Mexico right now, but when she gets back,
Okay.
probably.
Well, we're gonna send her the link so you can watch this and hear it for sure.
Yes.
What about you, Said? What's your go-to dish?
I mean, I really love everything, but my go-to is probably tortas.
Oh, yeah.
Now explain that to me. I'm not familiar with that.
It's like a sandwich, basically.
Okay. And what's on this sandwich?
You can put really anything like spicy, lettuce, mayonnaise, ketchup. What I would do was beans, steak, chicken, lettuce, and onion and mayonnaise as well.
Okay. All on a sandwich.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
It's
a big
bigger
sandwich. Yes, it is.
It is.
And what about you, Miss Yvonne? So if you're having people over at your house, what's your go-to dish? What are you preparing for your family to celebrate your culture?
I have my husband is from Mexico. I'm from Colombia.
Okay.
So I've learned to cook a lot of things. But one of the things that I like to eat is pozole.
Okay.
And my husband, my girls, they love it.
Now, what's in that dish?
It's like soup,
Okay.
but you make it with hominy. And then you put spices, and you can make chicken. It's either chicken or pork.
Okay.
But it tastes better with pork.
Really? Okay.
And then you just add like toppings, oregano or
Lettuce.
or cabbage. Some people eat it with cabbage, and then you have tostadas.
Oh, yeah.
To go with it.
Nice.
But that's like
I like limon in mine.
you like limon on
yeah,
your
I
pozole.
like,
Yeah, it's like
That's cool. That's
Yes.
awesome to hear. I think if I hear right, and I know we have Mr. Walkup in the background here, he's the one controlling the cameras, so we appreciate what he's doing. Mr. Walkup and I are all about food, and so it sounds like we're going to have a lot of food coming in. If you
Yes.
guys can make that happen, because everything you
Yeah.
just described sounds absolutely delicious.
Yes. Well,
Awesome.
I'll make a request for my grandma.
Yes, please do so. What else, Miss Yvonne?
okay. Can you share a story or something you've learned about a Hispanic figure or history who inspires you?
Yes. One of my favorite history figure is Jose Hernandez. He was the first Mexican astronaut, and I feel like I look up to him because it shows that anyone can do anything, no matter how they look and like what position they're in.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Saeed, what about you?
I really don't have like a favorite, but
Mhm.
like anything with sports,
Okay.
because they grow up in poverty, and like that's what means a lot to them, and that's like their exit ticket out of there.
Gotcha.
And they put a lot of work into their sport, like Canelo, Messi, any soccer player as well, which is my favorite sport as well. And I just see a lot to them and see what the grind.
Yeah, see what possibilities are out there for you,
Yeah.
right? That's cool. And Miss Yvonne, what about you? What about some historical figures that maybe you grew up learning about that have influenced you?
Well, I'll have to go with a person that is from Colombia, Shakira.
Okay.
I think that, yeah, she has become very popular. You know, she started, I remember when I was in Colombia, she was just coming out,
Mhm.
and I think she has made, a lot of progress singing in English, and she's become very popular.
Oh, for
So
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
So she's a big inspiration.
That's awesome. That's a great representation. I did not know she was from Colombia.
Yes,
Awesome.
she is.
Very cool. All right, we have one more question, guys. What's something unique about your culture that you're proud of? Saeed, we'll start with you this time.
All the food we've given.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot
All
of great
the-
food for sure. Yeah, I love that. That's a great answer. What about you, Isabella?
Something unique that I think of my culture that I'm proud of is all the things that we have accomplished in the past, like all our traditions that we've made up to honor that has happened
Mhm.
in the past, like Cinco de Mayo, the Day of the Dead, like he said, and like I think like it's good that we came up with those things to remember the things that happened in the past, and that's something I'm proud of.
For sure. That's great.
Yes.
And what about you, Miss Yvonne?
I think that I am very proud of the way we are, because we find like every occasion to celebrate. I think Hispanic people are like all about dance, and like in every little family gathering, there is always like dance and party, and you'll never get bored.
Yeah.
Like it's like the party goes on until after midnight.
Yes.
And I think that's something very common in
Yeah.
Hispanics.
And that's something that I admire as well, is you see these celebrations and these traditions and cultures, and a lot of them at the heart is family, right? It's about being together.
Yes.
It's the act of being together with your loved ones. It's about recognizing loved ones, and that's something that's beneficial for everyone. If you're going to put value in family and put family first, I think it's a great message. So I think that's great as well. Awesome. Well, this has been a terrific conversation. Thank you all for joining us, telling us a little bit about more your culture and your traditions. And just thank you for being here. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. That was our latest episode celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. This episode has been sponsored by Andine Chevrolet, Together Let's Drive, and also Sawny Mountain Biscuit Company, fresh, homemade Mama approved.
Hey, you know what, David Miller?
Yes.
Now that we got a video podcast, we got to bring some of those biscuits in that you
Gotta have
talked
the biscuits on. We'll have it laying right here. We'll do some taste
I love it.
testing.
A little buffet
But
situation.
maybe instead of a biscuit, we could have some tamales, right?
Man, I
They
tell
mentioned
you
tamales
what.
on the show.
Gosh, I was hungry with that. Grandma's going to be cooking those.
Grandma's gonna be busy.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
she now works for us.
Yeah.
She is now cooking tamales full time. A lot to unpack there, Greg. What
Ton.
stood out to you?
I mean, a lot, like you said. I think it's always, I always find it special when you can really listen to other people's cultures, see how they react with each other, see their different foods and traditions. But really, what I guess stood out to me the most, David, was, and I think our principal, Miss St. Jean, does a fantastic job of that here, our administration, of really stressing the family piece, the relationship piece.
Yeah.
You saw their eyes light up when they talked about the family and how those traditions, the foods, all the dancing, all the things brought them together. And I loved that.
All the celebrating.
Yeah, that was cool.
For sure. Well, speaking of celebrating, we're celebrating the end of this podcast,
Yeah.
the very first, but not the only
No,
video podcast that we're going to be doing.
no.
So there are going to be more to come. Make sure you look out for that. All right.
Here we go.
And thank you for listening to the Bulldogs Unleashed podcast. My name is David Miller, reminding you to embrace the journey. Thanks again.
Yes, sir.